Good afternoon still, everybody. Good morning. Good afternoon. It's afternoon. It's me, Jessica, your health fitness program manager, and we're about to lay down on the floor, relax, get some really big stretches into our glutes, into your exterior thighs. I highly recommend that you have a strap and that your strap is within reachable distance. And you might also want a block or two for today's class. And once you have all those fun toys within reach, go ahead and lay down on the floor and come into your savassanah. I'm going to make sure everything's streaming properly. And then I will meet you on the floor in just a moment. Okay, so we're laying down on the floor and we're going to spend a little more than 1 minute here still in our opening savasana. Make sure you have some space at your side, in addition to all the delightful props that are within your range. And if you're still moving around or fidgeting at all, take these next couple of breaths to start to come into your stillness. That's our goal here. Stillness, not just of the body, but also stillness, quieting the mind, quieting your breath, enjoying the gentle sounds of a little birdie throwing a box around. Start to scan your body from head to toe. And with every inhale, just moving down a couple inches and check out if there's tension. I know for me, especially when I first lay down on the floor or get in the bed, and you just like press against the pillows or your mat, and you're like, I'm relaxed. And then when you really check things out, it's like, oh, there's so much tension in my chest or in my shoulders, or I'm making fists, or I'm squeezing my glutes, and there's so much more melting into your space. Like you are a popsicle on a warm summer day, just being one with your mat. Okay, start to bend your knees, drawing your knees up towards your chest. You might even press into your feet, release your low back onto the floor once again. Both knees coming up towards your chest. For a couple of breaths here in knees to chest pose. And feel free to even roll a little bit side to side. So once again, make sure that you're actually relaxing as much of your back as possible on the mat. If you're feeling really tight, maybe you want to give yourself a couple hip circles or knee circles in one direction and then circles in the opposite direction. And when you're ready, come into your stillness. We've got 1 minute right here. Knees to chest pose. Your feet can be nice and wide. Your knees can be side by side if you want a little bit more in the low belly for digestion. Check out what's happening with your shoulders. Can you relax them down towards it? Can you bring more of the back of your head, back of your neck to the mat, even giving yourself the double, triple chins right here. We're actually working on our deep intrinsic core stabilizers as you're drawing your chin towards your chest and getting this big stretch in the back of your neck. So this is a great move. Couple more breaths. On your exhale, go ahead, release the soles of the feet back down to the mat. So knees are bent, extend your arms out wide to the side. You can shift your hips over to the right, and with those knees stacked, We're going to drop them. Sorry, I shifted my hips to the left. And I drop my knees to the right with your two knees stacked on top of each other. Pardon me as I tuck my shirt in for modesty. If it's uncomfortable to have your two knees stacked, this might be a time that you use a block. Maybe you place a block between your legs. Maybe you place a block under your legs, but we're going to hang out right here in this first spine twist for just over a minute from right now. So come back to relaxing the back of your head, your shoulders. Find the stretch that feels right for you, whether that means really working to stack your hips or not stacking your hips, so a gentle twist. More of a stretch in the top of the hip when things don't feel stacked. For me, more of a stretch in the spine when hips are stacked. But remember, everyone's body is different. Every day is different. Each side of your body is going to feel these stretches differently. So just find a place where you can still breathe deeply, where you feel something happening, and hold it. If you turn your head to look over your left shoulder, bring your head back in line with your heart. Roll over onto your back. Firmly plant your back on the mat. Full cycle of breath. And then shift your hips to the opposite side. And with both knees stacked, once again, allow your knees to fall heavy over to the left. Make any adjustments that you need with your upper back, any changes you want to make with your arms, just working to experience this stretch to start today with two knees stacked on top of each other. We've got just 1 minute left to go here. If you want to turn twist and look over your right shoulder, you're welcome to, but remember your twist does not need to look exactly the same. It just has to be a good stretch for you. If you turn your head out of line with your heart, bring your head back in line with your heart. Change your breath, change your posture, roll onto your back. Once again, chest. Oh, this is great. Here's where you might want your two blocks, bringing the soles of your feet together. Allow your knees to fall open nice and wide, coming into a reclined bound angle. I highly recommend as you get here to press into the outer edges of your feet. Lift up for just a second. You can use your triceps on the floor as well, so you can release more of your low back towards the mat. And if the outer edges of your thighs, your calves are not touching the floor, go ahead, take your blocks and maybe even on an angle, place your blocks underneath of your thighs. And immediately you'll probably feel your lower back melt more towards the floor. So much more relaxation happening. We're here for another 2 minutes. Find wherever feels good for your arms, whatever you would like to do. Create your stillness. Enjoy your breath. Another opportunity to work on those intrinsic or stabilizers. Make sure your chin's not stretching up towards the ceiling. Tucking your chin towards your chest while keeping the back of your head to the floor and creating some length. Can you create a little bit extra length from the crown of your head to your sacrum? Oh, time is going so quickly. All right, you can remove the blocks from under your legs. Can you grab your strap? Go ahead, send your knees up towards the ceiling, soles of the feet down towards the floor. And feel free to take a moment to just windshield wipe your legs right and left, right and left. We get lots of nice big windshield wipes of our legs. We're going to take our strap. We're going to make a loop. The easiest way to make a loop is just holding on to the metal parts of the strap, bend at the bottom, and just send your strap through the metal parts. And now you have this great loop that you can attach to your foot and a lot of long strap. With your left foot on the floor, gently tuck your pelvis, keep your low back on the mat, gentle engagement of your core. We're going to loop up our right foot and send it all the way towards the ceiling. I want you to relax your arms on the mat as much as possible. So instead of holding up high towards the right foot, start to ease your hands down your strap. Maybe your triceps come to the mat. You can stay right here. My favorite option, though, is to bring your arms up overhead. That way you can get a little extra stretch into your hamstrings. That's what we're going for. Let's spend one more minute right here. Keep your low back relaxed on the mat. So if you notice that you're overarching your back, the stretch might be a little too intense. And then just bring your chin a little further from your face. Relaxing your shoulders on the mat. Back to your slow, deep breaths. Next up, we're going to open the right leg out to the side. So you might want to bring your hands back in line with your heart, at your heart. Your left hand can extend all the way to the left side. I like to open the left thigh also, kind of coming back into like a clamshell, a half reclined bound angle. And if it's really uncomfortable to hold your foot, maybe you place a block underneath of your leg or outside by your shin. I happen to not have a lot of space, so I'm still getting a great stretch to the inner thigh while my foot even gently rests against something in here. Just a couple breaths left. All right. Bring the sole of the left foot back down to the floor. Draw your belly and inhale right leg up towards the sky and keeping your lower right back on the floor, a gentle cross of your right ankle towards the left side of the body. So my right ankle is now in line with my left shoulder, but I don't need to go any further because if I go further, I start to roll onto the left side. Couple breaths here. Start to bend your right knee. The right ankle is going to come outside of the left thigh. So we've got a cross of the legs as deep or as open as you want. Extend your arms out towards the side. We're going to wiggle the left foot to the right side of the mat. Shift over onto the left hips and then drop knees over to the side. So now we're in a spine twist with the right ankle underneath a little bit of the left thigh. Find what feels good with your arms. You can again turn twist, look over your right shoulder, relax through your low back. If this is too much of a stretch, especially on your exterior glute and hip, maybe you untuck the right foot. Maybe you bring a block into play as opposed to having this tuck in. But we're going to be here for one more minute from right now. So find a great stretch for you where you can still enjoy plenty of deep breaths. If you do have your right ankle tucked under your left thigh, untuck, stack your legs once again. Roll over onto your back, separate your feet, hips width distance apart. Place your low back down on the mat. Windshield wipe your legs left and right, at whatever pace feels good for you. If you want to take an extra second to hold in this windshield wipe, you go for it. And start to come back to your stillness. Heel toe your feet back in, low back firmly planted on the mat. Keep your right foot where it is. Bend your left knee. Place your strap, your loop over your left foot. And use your inhale to send your left leg high to the sky. Low back stays down on the floor. Whole new leg. Maybe your stretch is deeper than the other side, and maybe it's not quite as deep. If you're holding up really high, release the triceps, the back of the arms back to the mat. Maybe you stay right here. Maybe you take that extra little bit of a stretch, bringing your arms up overhead. You don't even have to bring your leg closer to your face, but at least you get a stretch through your upper body, upper back, through the lats. You got a little more than a minute to go right here. Get ready. We're going to open the left leg up to the side. Hands can come out to the side as well. Maybe you have both hands on your strap for a little extra assistance, extra guidance. Remember, you can always bring your block out and even place your block in a supportive manner. If the stretch feels too deep, clamshelling your right leg open a little bit should help. So with the clamshell of my right leg, I can't even get my left leg onto the block. We're here for just about a minute in the stretch. Enjoy it, relax. What can you do today? Go ahead, send that right knee back up towards the sky. Use your strap to help pull your left leg in. Low back stays on the mat and a gentle crossing. Maybe it barely even seems like it's crossing. Working to try and bring that left heel a little bit more in line with the right shoulder. Relax into your stretch. Relax your upper body, upper back, back of your head on the mat as much as you can. Last big breath right here. On your exhale, bend your left ankle coming towards the outside of the right thigh, as open or as deep of a cross as you want. Wiggle your right foot to the left side of the mat. Arms open wide. We're coming into our spine twist. Once again, with the ankle gently tucked under the leg. So much stretch happening to the exterior part of the hip, to the glute with this tuck as opposed to the stack of your legs. Hopefully it feels good. And if it doesn't feel good, change it up and find what feels right for you today. If you want to get the extra stretch in your neck, turn, twist, look over your left shoulder. Create your stillness. That's our goal. she said as she moved around. Okay, if you turned your head out of line with your heart, bring your head back in line with your heart. Untuck your left ankle from the right and carefully roll onto your back. Once again, once you get there, plant your back, relax your arms down by your side for a moment, extend your legs out nice and long. Heels touch, toes fall open, palms facing up towards the ceiling. Savassanah. Couple breaths left here before we move on. Same savasana that we got started with, but already so different. Do you feel any more open in your low belly, in your hips, in your glutes, in your hamstrings? Let's take a big side body stretch. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Maybe you grab your opposite thumb or just bring your arms up overhead. Flex your toes back towards your face. And then walk your legs as far over to the right as feels comfortable for you. I'm running out of space, so I'm actually going to move my whole body over and then walk my legs over to the right as much as just possible. Coming into banana pose, upper body moves to the right as much as possible. So you're working to create a crescent moon shape. And you can stay here with your feet side by side with your arms up overhead, or maybe you take things a little deeper. Left ankle can cross over your right ankle. If that feels too much, uncross them. Maybe you grab hold of your elbows, a little bit more stretch through the upper body. Relax your shoulders on the mat, relax your breath. Hang out wherever feels right for you today in this posture. No judgment, no expectation. Doesn't matter what your banana pose might have looked like in the past. All that matters are your deep breaths and the stretch that you're creating right now. And then right now. If you crossed your legs, uncross your legs, keep them side by side for just a moment. If your legs are side by side, great. Take some time, bring your upper body back through center, walk your legs back through center. Full cycle of breath right here before I move on. And then go ahead, start to walk your legs all the way over to the left. Keep them feet side by side for just a moment. Bring your upper body all the way over to the left. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, see how it feels, crossing your right ankle over the left. Maybe you grab hold of your opposite elbow. Perhaps you come into a stretch and at first it felt great. And after a few breaths, it goes from being cool and noticeable to painful. And if that's the case, ease your way out. Find a new place where you can create your stillness and find your breath. If your stretch is just uncomfortable, can you hang out a little bit longer? Think of all the times in life when we're in an uncomfortable situation and we have to deal with it. Now, I definitely am not advocating that you should hurt yourself, as stated. If your posture feels painful, ease out. Find a new place to be. There is no need to push yourself to a point of extreme discomfort. However, making change is not usually comfortable. It is challenging. So I challenge you to find a slightly uncomfortable, noticeable stretch that you can hold for a couple more breaths. If you did cross your legs, uncross your legs. Release binds with your upper body. Bring your upper body back to center. Bring your legs back to center. Relax your arms down by your side. Palms face down towards the floor. Go ahead and bend your knees. And this time, open your feet mats width distance apart. Press into the soles of the feet. Lift your hips up for a second. Low back once again firmly planted on the floor and create some length in your spine right here. So already stretching through the crown of your head, stretching through your tailbone. Start to windshield wipe your feet right and left. Keep your blocks nearby. You might want or need them. We're going to take a very wide leg spine twist. So the next time that your knees come over to the right, we're going to allow knees to fall heavy to the right. You're working towards the idea of bringing your left inner thigh towards the floor. So my lower left back has come off of the mat. Right side glute, right side upper back are on the floor. You can just kind of hang out here very gently. If you want to emphasize the stretch more, think about stretching your knee as if you're stretching your knee down like there's a gum on your knee and there's money at the bottom of your mat. You just need to lengthen, open that front side hip opener. You're going to be able to pick up the money with your knee. Otherwise, maybe you want to bring a block into the party and place that block between your legs. Let's hang out here. Whatever you want to do with your arms. Got 2 minutes. Okay, take your time. We're going to slowly start to bring knees back up towards the ceiling. Roll onto your back. Once your back is on the mat, start to get those big windshield wipes side to side again. Next time your legs come over to the left, we're going to find this deep, wide leg spine twist in the opposite direction. Feel free to really shift your hips to use your feet to find the optimal position for your glutes, for your spine. And remember, you can just hang out right here as is. Maybe you bring a block between. Maybe you ease the stretch that's happening. Or maybe you think intentionally about lengthening this time the right side hip flexor, of stretching your knee towards the bottom of the mat, of applying a little bit more pressure, honestly, to the inner sole of your right foot to get this big stretch. And we're here for 2 minutes. Okay, take your time, slowly, carefully. Start to send your knees up towards the ceiling. Release your full back onto the mat. Once it's there, draw both of your knees in towards your chest and just gently rock side to side. Once your back is firmly planted, start to make some circles with your knees, a little bit more of massage into the low back in one direction to begin, and then change direction of your knee circles. Both knees draw to the chest, and go ahead, extend your legs up towards the ceiling. You can have as generous of a bend in your knees as you want. Just enjoying a little bit of lymphatic draining, sending more blood flow to the heart. We did a lot of spine twists, happy spine, happy life. And in those spine twists, we also got a lot of really big hip openers today. Hip openers, low back stretches, some big belly stretches, some side body stretches. So plenty of opportunities to create a better energy flow, release blocked thoughts, feelings, connections, emotions, yada, yada, yada. Now we're just sending all that blood flow to our heart so we can continue to enjoy it. Last few breaths here. with your legs lifted. And then bend your knees, perhaps one at a time, releasing the soles of the feet back down to the mat. You can enjoy your final savasana right here, even with your knees bent, or go ahead, extend your legs out nice and long. Make any adjustments you need to, once again, to melt into the mat. Heels can touch, toes can fall open, arms and legs can instead extend nice and long, maybe one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Let's spend the next 3 minutes here just letting our practice sink in, tuning into some positive intentions that we can set moving forward. And once you have a positive thought in your mind, use your inhale, breathe it down to your heart. And then one breath at a time, just work your way down your body from the top of your head. Inhale, notice how you're feeling. If anything does not feel good or right or true or necessary on your exhale, can you let it go? Can you relax your body a little bit more? Release your mind. Release those negative thoughts. Because you are so amazing for showing up for yourself right now. You're welcome to stay here in your final savasana for as long as feels good for you today. This is pretty much all the time that we have together, though. If you'd like to close out practice from a seated position, take a wiggle of your fingers, take a wiggle of your toes, and then take your time, make your way into Sukhasana, comfortable seated position. Once you're there, ground through your sit bones. Find some length through the crown of your head. Use your inhale to bring your arms up overhead. Hands, palms come together, and then hands come down to heart center. Some touching your chest sternum in Namaskar. Tuck your chin to your chest. Take a moment to bow to honor yourself, to reflect back on that positive intention you set just a couple minutes ago. Until we are together again, I hope that you'll set so many positive intentions for yourself, that you'll think good thoughts and speak good words to yourself and to others. Take the time over this next week to eat good foods, do good deeds. Every day, can you nourish yourself from the inside out? Because if no one's told you today, you're special and you are worth it and you are worthy, which is my favorite. If it feels right, you can bring your thumb up to your third eye, your drishti, and lift your heart, ground through your sit bones. Know that the light within me honors, sees, and is so thankful for the light within you. So thank you so much for coming. Thank you for showing up and joining me, for taking part in my energy, for putting your energy out there for others to share as well. I hope that you, as well as I, Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.